Understanding true power. When someone hurts you, your immediate reaction is often instinctive. Anger, frustration, and the desire for revenge surge through you. It feels natural to want to retaliate, to show them the pain they caused, or to make them pay in some way. But the truth is, reacting in that way only strengthens their hold over you. Every moment you spend consumed by thoughts of vengeance, every second you invest in anger, is a moment you give them power over your emotions and your life. Real strength is found not in retaliation but in mastery. Mastery of your mind, your emotions, and your actions. True power is quiet. It is steady. It is the calm strength that comes from knowing who you are and refusing to let anyone else define your worth. When you hurt someone who has hurt you, you may feel temporary satisfaction, but it is fleeting. It does not heal your wounds, and it does not elevate your life. Instead, the smartest way to destroy someone who caused you pain is to rise above, to channel your energy into self-growth, success, and unshakable confidence. The more you build yourself, the less influence their actions have over your life, and the more their attempts to harm you become irrelevant. Think about it. Someone who seeks to hurt you often thrives on seeing you weak, reactive, or unsettled. They want you to spiral into anger, regret, or self-doubt. But when you remain calm, collected, and focused on your own journey, you deny them the satisfaction. Your growth, your happiness, and your achievements become a mirror reflecting their limitations, while showcasing your strength. That is power. That is control. That is the smartest and most effective way to respond. This principle is not just about emotional control, it's about reclaiming your life. Every act of retaliation or anger keeps you tied to the past, replaying the same hurt over and over. But you choose to focus on yourself, on your goals, and on your inner growth. You break free from the chains of their influence. You shift the energy from bitterness to purpose, from weakness to strength, and from reaction to action. Remember, the most dangerous and unstoppable people are those who are untouchable by negativity. They do not fight every battle. They do not waste energy on those who seek to harm them. Instead, they rise, they build, they shine, and they let their success speak volumes. This is the true meaning of destruction, not in harming someone else, but in making their efforts to control or hurt you completely irrelevant. When you become the master of your own mind, emotions, and destiny, you achieve a level of power that no one can take away. So, the first step toward defeating those who hurt you is not confrontation, but self-mastery. Refuse to be ruled by anger. Refuse to be distracted by revenge. Turn inward, focus on your growth, and cultivate the calm, steady power that comes from knowing your worth. That power will silently, surely, and most effectively destroy anyone who ever tried to hurt you. Not by harming them, but by proving that their actions have no power over your life. Rise above the pain. When someone hurts you, the immediate response is often to feel wounded, rejected, or powerless. Pain can consume your thoughts, invade your emotions, and even make you question your self-worth. But here's the secret. Pain is not just an obstacle. It is a powerful teacher. It reveals your strength, it uncovers resilience you didn't know you had, and it provides the opportunity to awaken to a higher version of yourself. The smartest way to deal with someone who has hurt you is not to retaliate, but to rise above the pain. Rising above the pain requires awareness. It means recognizing that while someone's actions may have caused temporary suffering, they do not define you. Their words, their betrayal, or their negligence are reflections of their own character, not your value. Understanding this allows you to detach emotionally from the hurt, to see it objectively, and to prevent it from controlling your life. When you rise above the pain, you reclaim your power. You take back the energy that was being drained by anger, resentment, or fear, and you redirect it toward your growth, your goals, and your future. Pain can also be transformed into motivation. Every time you feel the sting of betrayal or rejection, you have a choice: to dwell in despair or to channel that energy into action. Let your pain fuel your ambition, your determination, and your resolve. The person who hurt you becomes irrelevant when you redirect their negativity into a positive force that propels you forward. Your success, your self-confidence, and your peace of mind will speak louder than any act of revenge ever could. Moreover, rising above pain requires patience. Healing is not instantaneous, and transformation does not happen overnight. You may stumble, feel weak, or even momentarily fall back into old habits of anger or resentment. But the key is consistency, choosing each day to focus on your well-being, to protect your emotional space, and to prioritize your growth. Every small step you take to overcome the hurt is a step toward your ultimate freedom and strength. Rising above is also about perspective. When someone harms you, it can feel personal, but most often it reflects their own insecurities, limitations, or pain. By shifting your focus from their actions to your response, you reclaim control. You no longer allow them to dictate your mood, your decisions, or your self-perception. Instead, you demonstrate that your spirit is unshakable, your mind is strong, and your life cannot be undermined by negativity. Ultimately, rising above the pain is the first real step toward victory. The smartest destruction of someone who hurt you does not come from inflicting harm. It comes from showing them that their attempts to hurt you failed. You rise, you shine, you achieve, and you live a life so elevated that their influence disappears entirely. Pain, once mastered, becomes the fuel for your unstoppable growth. Focus on your own success. One of the most powerful ways to respond to someone who has hurt you is by focusing on your own success. This is where true strength and intelligence come into play. The smartest revenge is not to retaliate, not to sink to their level, and certainly not to engage in negativity. Real victory lies in building yourself into a version so strong, so capable, and so unshakable that their actions no longer hold any power over you. Success becomes your silent, unstoppable response. When someone hurts you, it is easy to get distracted by their behavior, by the desire to make them feel the pain they caused, or by endless rumination on what happened. But every minute spent dwelling on them is a minute taken away from creating your own life. By focusing on your personal growth, career goals, or spiritual journey, you reclaim your time and energy. You channel the emotions that could have been wasted on anger or resentment into productivity, learning, and self-improvement. This is not only empowering, it is transformative. Success in this sense is multidimensional. It is not only about material achievements, although career growth, financial stability, and accomplishments do matter. True success also includes emotional resilience, mental clarity, and spiritual strength. When you cultivate these qualities, the person who hurt you becomes irrelevant because their actions cannot touch your inner world. Your life becomes a testament to your power, your focus, and your ability to rise above negativity. Focusing on your success also changes the dynamics entirely. While someone else may try to bring you down, your achievements speak for themselves. Success does not need explanation or justification. It is visible, undeniable, and compelling. Every accomplishment you earn, every skill you master, and every step you take toward your goals silently communicates tone. Had their attempts to hurt you have failed, their influence over your life is effectively destroyed, not through confrontation, but through the undeniable proof of your growth and resilience. Moreover, focusing on your own success shifts your identity. You stop defining yourself by what others have done to you and start defining yourself by who you are becoming. You realize that your worth is not tied to external validation, the opinions of others, or past hurts. Your worth is intrinsic, and your life's trajectory is determined by your vision, your discipline, and your determination. This shift in perspective is liberating. Remember, the smartest way to destroy someone who hurt you is not by harming them. It is by thriving despite them. Build your skills, elevate your mindset, and pursue your dreams relentlessly. Make your life so full, so remarkable, and so inspiring that their negativity becomes completely irrelevant. Success is the ultimate, silent, and irreversible victory. It proves not only to them but to yourself that your spirit is unbreakable, your purpose is unwavering, and your life is yours to command. Maintain your integrity. When someone hurts you, it is tempting to respond in kind. The world often glorifies revenge, gossip, or manipulation as ways to get even. But the truth is, those who stoop to retaliation may feel satisfaction for a moment, but they are still bound by negativity. The true mark of strength and the smartest way to destroy someone who has harmed you is to maintain your integrity, to rise above their level and refuse to be dragged into the chaos they try to create. Integrity is more than a moral code. It is the foundation of your character, the unshakable core that guides your decisions and actions even when the world around you feels unjust. When you maintain integrity, you demonstrate that no external actions, no betrayal, no insult, and no harm can dictate who you are. You show that your values are stronger than someone else's malice and that your life cannot be manipulated by those who seek to hurt you. Maintaining integrity requires self-discipline. It means controlling the urge to respond with anger, sarcasm, or revenge. It means choosing silence over gossip, forgiveness over bitterness, and patience over impulsivity. This does not make you weak. It makes you powerful. Every time you resist the temptation to react, you reclaim authority over your life and deny your aggressor the influence they crave. Your calm, composed response silently demonstrates that their actions have no control over your emotional state or decisions. Living with integrity also strengthens your long-term success. When you build a life rooted in honesty, respect, and ethical choices, you attract opportunities, people, and circumstances that elevate you further. Those who act dishonestly or cruelly often find themselves trapped in their own patterns, while your integrity opens doors and creates influence that no one can take away. In this sense, maintaining your value, S becomes a strategic tool for personal victory. It is important to remember that integrity does not mean passivity. Maintaining your principles does not require allowing others to walk over you or ignoring injustice. It means responding with wisdom and strategy rather than emotional reactivity. You confront challenges with clarity, handle conflicts with intelligence, and let your actions demonstrate your strength far more effectively than words ever could. By living with integrity, you make one of the most profound statements to those who hurt you. You are untouchable. They cannot manipulate your mind, they cannot shake your confidence, and they cannot dictate your path. Your success, composure, and ethical life become a mirror reflecting their weakness while showcasing your strength. This is the ultimate form of destruction of those who sought to harm you, not by hurting them, but by rendering their attempts irrelevant and impotent against your rising power. In the end, integrity is not just a choice, it is your armor. It protects your mind, your soul, and your destiny. When you live with unwavering integrity, you rise above the negativity, and the person who once hurt you loses their ability to affect your life in any meaningful way. You become untouchable, unstoppable, and unshakable, emotional mastery and detachment. One of the most powerful tools you can develop when someone hurts you is emotional mastery. Most people allow their emotions to control them. They react impulsively, they brood over the pain, and they let anger dictate their actions. But the smartest way to respond to someone who has caused harm is to master your emotions, to detach from the chaos, and to remain calm and composed. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It is the ability to acknowledge your feelings while refusing to let them control your decisions. Detachment does not mean apathy. It does not mean that you ignore your feelings or pretend nothing happened. Instead, it means observing the situation objectively, understanding the behavior of others without being consumed by it, and choosing your response deliberately. When you detach, you remove their power over your mind. They can no longer dictate how you feel or how you react. You reclaim the energy that would have been wasted on anger, resentment, or obsession, and you channel it into building your life, your strength, and your peace of mind. Emotional mastery also gives you clarity. When your mind is clouded by anger, revenge, or hurt, you are likely to make choices that do not serve your highest good. You may say or do things that you later regret, giving your aggressor the temporary satisfaction they sought. But when you cultivate detachment, you create space between stimulus and response. You can respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This space allows you to make decisions aligned with your long-term goals, your integrity, and your personal growth. Detachment is also a strategic advantage. When someone tries to hurt you, they often feed on attention, outrage, or emotional reactions. By remaining calm and composed, you deny them the satisfaction of seeing you destabilized. You demonstrate that their ions have no effect on your peace, and in doing so, you silently destroy their influence over your life. They may continue to act out, but their attempts lose power because you refuse to play their game. Mastering your emotions requires practice and self-awareness. Start by observing your reactions, identifying triggers, and learning to pause before responding. Meditation, journaling, and mindful breathing can help you regain control when strong emotions arise. Every time you succeed in responding from a place of calm rather than impulse, you reinforce your inner strength. You build a fortress around your mind and heart that is unassailable. Ultimately, emotional mastery and detachment transform the way you experience life. You move from being reactive to being intentional. You shift from being a victim of circumstances to being the author of your own destiny. The person who once hurt you loses their influence, not through confrontation or aggression, but through your unshakable composure, self-control, and clarity. By mastering your emotions, you rise above the pain and prove that their negativity has no power over your life. Transform pain into purpose. The final and perhaps the most powerful step in responding to those who hurt you is to transform your pain into purpose. Pain, when understood and harnessed correctly, can be one of the greatest catalysts for growth and transformation. Those who hurt you may believe they have weakened you, but the truth is, their actions can become the fuel that propels you toward your highest potential. The smartest way to destroy someone who hurt you is not through retaliation, but through the meaningful life you build from the lessons they inadvertently taught you. Every painful experience carries a message, a lesson, and an opportunity for growth. When you look back at your struggles, you may see them as injustices, betrayals, or losses. But when you rise above, you begin to recognize that each trial was shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for a greater purpose. Pain forces you to confront your limits, your fears, and your patterns. It challenges you to become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true self. By embracing this perspective, you shift the focus from what was taken from you to what you can create moving forward. Transforming pain into purpose requires a conscious decision to act rather than react. You can take the lessons learned from betrayal, heartbreak, or humiliation and channel them into creating something meaningful, whether it is personal growth, career success, helping others, or building your own legacy. When your life becomes an example of resilience, strength, and achievement, the person who hurt you is no longer relevant. They may have sought to diminish you, but instead, they inadvertently provided the spark that ignited your transformation. Purpose amplifies your power. When you dedicate your energy to growth, service, and excellence, your life becomes unstoppable. The negativity, the betrayal, and the attempts to harm you fade into irrelevance because your focus is on something infinitely greater than petty revenge. Your achievements, your impact, and your inner peace become your most effective response. Every time you step into your purpose, you send a silent yet undeniable message. Their actions could not break you, and they never will. Transforming pain into purpose also inspires others. Your journey becomes a beacon of hope, showing people that adversity does not have to define them. By rising above hurt and creating a life of meaning, you contribute to a cycle of positivity, strength, and resilience. The energy that was once consumed by anger or resentment is now redirected toward uplifting yourself and others. This is the ultimate demonstration of true power and intelligence. Ultimately, the smartest way to destroy those who hurt you is not to destroy them, but to destroy the hold they had over your life. Transforming pain into purpose ensures that your spirit, your focus, and your achievements rise above any negativity. It is the quiet, unstoppable force that proves your resilience, your strength, and your ability to turn every challenge into a stepping stone toward greatness. When you live your life with intention, driven by purpose, their attempts to harm you become irrelevant. You thrive, you inspire, and you rise, unshakable, untouchable, and unstoppable. When someone hurts you, it is natural to feel anger, betrayal, and pain. It is normal to want to react, to strike back, or to prove your strength in ways that mimic the harm done to you. But the truth is, the most intelligent, effective, and lasting way to destroy those who hurt you is not through retaliation. It is through your own transformation, your success, and the mastery of your mind, heart, and life. True power comes from rising above, not sinking to their level. Throughout this journey, you have learned that the first step is understanding the nature of true power. It is not loud or reactive. It is quiet, steady, and unwavering. By maintaining control over your emotions, refusing to let anger dictate your actions, and focusing on your growth, you reclaim the energy that once belonged to the person who hurt you. This is where real victory begins, within you. The smarter way to destroy someone is to ensure that their actions no longer have the ability to influence your life. Rising above pain is another essential step. Pain is a teacher, a guide, and a catalyst for transformation. When you take the lessons from hurt, betrayal, and hardship and channel them into your growth, you create a life that is unshakable. Pain loses its power when it is transformed into motivation, clarity, and determination. You stop being a victim of circumstance and become the master of your destiny, using adversity as fuel to propel you forward. Focusing on your success amplifies this power even further. Achievements, personal growth, and the pursuit of your goals speak louder than any words or revenge ever could. Every step you take to build a better life demonstrates that the person who hurt you cannot stop your progress. Your success becomes your silent but undeniable victory, proving that negativity has no hold over a determined, focused, and resilient spirit. Maintaining integrity. It ensures that your power remains untouchable. You refuse to be dragged into negativity, revenge, or gossip. Your calm, ethical, and principled actions reveal the contrast between strength and weakness. While others may operate through manipulation or aggression, you operate through wisdom, patience, and composure. Integrity protects you, elevates you, and demonstrates that the smartest destruction is achieved through honor, not harm. Emotional mastery and detachment complete the path. By controlling your emotions, observing situations objectively, and responding with intention rather than reaction, you render attempts to hurt you ineffective. Detachment does not mean ignoring your pain. It means refusing to let someone else's negativity dictate your life. Emotional mastery frees you from the chains of resentment, fear, and anger, allowing you to live with clarity, focus, and purpose. Finally, transforming pain into purpose ensures that your life becomes unstoppable. By taking every hurt, every betrayal, and every setback and turning it into fuel for growth, contribution, and achievement, you rise above the negativity completely. The person who hurt you becomes irrelevant as your life flourishes, your influence grows, and your inner strength shines. Their attempts to harm you are powerless against a soul that is awake, focused, and unstoppable. Remember this: the smartest way to destroy those who hurt you is to rise, to thrive, and to live so fully, with such purpose and integrity, that their actions no longer matter. Your growth, your peace, and your success are the ultimate silent and permanent victory